Magandang araw po sa lahat ng sumusubaybay dito sa Pinoy Radio. Ako po si Attorney Maria Eleanor Rodriguez, ang makakasama ninyo for the next hour dito sa programang Konting Kaalaman, Malaking Katulungan. It's still June, so happy Pride Month to all of the members of the LGBTQIA plus community. And before I start, I would like to say happy birthday to my daughter, Aliana. She's celebrating her birthday today, June 26th. So our guest for today clearly is a part of the LGBTQIA community. She is from San Francisco, but she is Filipino. She's second generation. Both her parents are from the Philippines, from Nueva Vizcaya and Angeles City. Currently, she is in the process of starting a vocational training. She is an admissions advisor for First Take. It's an acting school based in the Bay Area. She is pursuing acting as a career. And she was with me in the short film that we filmed in Los Angeles recently. So let me bring in Miss Nathalie Pajarillo. Hey, Nat.
Hello.
Hi there. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm really good. So thank you so much for agreeing to be a guest in my show. And happy Pride Month.
Happy Pride Month. Happy June.
Yes.
Almost July.
So before anything else, I did mention that you are pursuing acting as a career, and I saw that you are also an advisor in an acting school.
Oh, yeah. So I do like I help students with like enrollment and starting like the process of most of the time it's new actors. So I kind of like walk them through like what to expect when it comes to training and stuff.
Oh,
yeah.
Nice.
That's really fun.
So because you are my guest, you're clearly during the Pride Month, you're clearly a member of the community. So are you LGBTQIA or plus?
B. So I am bisexual, if that's what B stands for. Yeah, I'm just kidding.
You're bisexual. So how did you find out that you are bisexual?
Yeah, so it's kind of like it's a long story. When I was so when I was younger, I basically had like I would have like crushes on girls, but I had like this different kind of like coping mechanism to do it. And when
it started,
I guess it was like it's been as long as I could remember. So yeah, it's crazy. Because I was it's definitely as long as I could remember. Basically I didn't know or didn't really like accept that I was gay. So I had like this coping mechanism in my head to just like I don't know how to explain it properly right now. I will just answer your question. When I found out that when I found out that I was bisexual, it was a funny story because my a really close friend / family member of mine, they actually asked me in the 9th grade if I liked girls, and then I kind of like freaked out. And yeah, like 9th or 8th grade. I don't remember.
How old then? Like, was that like
13?
13. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You freaked out.
Yeah, I freaked out because kind of like background for the story is while I was growing up, I like I said, I had like crushes on girls, but I never actually like accepted that as a part of myself. So what my coping mechanism was to actually picture myself as a boy, and like that's how I could have crushes on girls, because I think that that's the only way that I could have that be
Justified.
acceptable for myself. Yes, justified and acceptable. Yeah, and it was really something. But yeah, so
Why
oh, go
were
ahead.
you like that? What made you think that that's the only acceptable way for you? I mean, because at an early age, how do you know that you're not supposed to like girls? Like, was it because you're Catholic, right?
I grew up Christian.
Christian. Was it because of the religion? Was it because of the way you were brought up? Was it an environment? Was it what was it that made you think that you had to be a boy to like girls?
Mm, yeah, it was my environment. I was really like terrified of like facing that side of myself. So anytime like the thought came to mind, like if I would think, oh, I think I just might be someone who's into girls, I would kind of like push that away, because yeah, my family was really religious, and as far as I knew, like it just wasn't okay to do that, especially for me. Like that wasn't a possibility. So I think about that now and just know that that was kind of, yeah, like the only way that I could be okay with myself. And at the time when I was really, really young, I just kind of thought, like push down any feelings of I'm gay. I can't say that. I can't say it to myself. I can't say it to anyone else. And I kind of just told myself that I will never let this secret come out. And I'll just die with it, was kind of my decision when I was a kid. So yeah, that's what it was like before. And then back to the story of my family member who I'm really close to, she just kind of asked me if I liked girls. And I remember, because I was like brushing my hair, I like flipped out on her. I was like, why would you say that? Like, and I started crying. Like I was crying and saying like, why would you say that? And then I just like left the room, and I looked at myself and I was like, oh yeah, like you totally look straight right now, crying because she asked you this question. So yeah, that was how it happened. And then, we bonded, because later we found out that we were both in the rainbow team. Yeah.
That's why she recognized you. She recognized, I guess. She felt it. She saw the signs, maybe. I saw the sign.
Oh my God.
Uh,
Yeah. No,
so
yeah, that's actually.
You grew up in San Francisco, right?
I grew up in the Bay Area, so not
The Bay
really.
Area.
It was outside of San Francisco. Yeah.
You're in the US. What I'm saying is, because I know the pressure that you would have felt if you were in the Philippines, because in the Philippines it's more like that, right? But you're young and grew up in the United States, so it's really I guess because you're still Filipino, and your community, probably the world you lived in was mostly Filipinos. Am I right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was mostly Filipinos, and they're
Mhm.
really like strong Christians tied
Mhm.
to,
Mhm.
like just like old school culture. So
Uh-huh. So when you say
yeah.
Christian, it's not quite Catholic. So what kind of Christian are you?
I think it's non-denominational. I don't really I mean, now I don't really use like I don't really like identify as like just Christian now. Like I
Uh-huh.
just kind of say like spiritual and God follower or whatever.
Hmm.
But yeah, when I was younger, it was non-denominational Christian. I think
Okay.
that's what it's called. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah.
Well, so it's so when you were 13, you had that reaction, right? When did you become okay with who you are? When did you, I guess before I ask that question, first question is, when did your parents found out?
Uh, I'd say they probably found out like at least like 6 months to a year after. When all that stuff happened, like with my close cousin, I we'd have like conversations about it, because I really was like in denial. I couldn't actually like talk about it with her for a little bit, and then at one point it kind of did become like a thing that we're able to dissect together. Like, this is, like, I have like a bunch of walls against being like, liking the same gender and stuff, but then I eventually accepted it. And I was so scared to tell my parents. Like, I was scared to tell any family members. For some family members, it was interesting. I think, I'm not going to specify like who it was. But I once came out to someone who's like older than me and someone that I looked up to. We were in like a car ride listening to Sam Smith. And we found out, we it was like we had newly found out that he was gay, and I think we were having like just like a regular conversation. But this family member of mine was like really talking negatively about it, and I was starting to like feel like take it personally. So then we kind of just started arguing, and then after like a second I just dramatically go, I'm gay. I'm gay. And then then it became like a huge like argument. And yeah, it was really tough to talk to like older family members. A lot of different reactions.
But I'm confused, because you said that family member also just came out, right?
Oh, no, sorry for the confusion. That I was talking about like a different family member who's closer.
Okay. So you talked about
closer to
Oh, I get it now. So you're talking to this person, you were in a car ride, talking to an older member of the family about another family who just came out, right? And then you started having an argument because he was saying, or she was saying something negative about that member.
Oh, no, we were talking about Sam Smith.
Oh, Sam Smith.
Yeah. So that was funny.
Oh, and then you argued about, okay. And then you said you're gay. How did this person react?
They were just like yelling at me for like a good minute, and then I was, dropped off home, and then and then
yelled at you for being gay.
Yeah.
Like, what did they say exactly? What was the reason they were getting mad? Did they say?
I mean, they just, they just weren't okay with it. They weren't okay with it. I'm not too clear about like how that first conversation went, but I know that it was like even 2 weeks after, it was kind of like a rough thing where if we had like conversations like over the phone, it would be something like you're not, or are you sure you're gay? Are you sure? Why would you do that? Why would you choose to do that? And it was stuff like that. A lot of like aggression for like the next 2 weeks.
Oh my gosh.
I actually, so I have like a hard time remembering a lot of stuff. But I had talked to my close family member recently, and they were kind of just jogging my memory, saying like, dude, you were crying like every night for 2 weeks straight. And I was like, oh, I don't even remember that, but okay.
That was hard. I guess you don't remember because you pushed it out of your mind. I guess maybe unconsciously, that you had to, probably a traumatic experience for you to be, treated that way by your close family members, right? The people that are supposed to accept you and love you, and
it was definitely like a trauma response. Like, a lot of stuff from back then is kind of foggy, but I was able to kind of like jog some memories. So cool.
Okay, that's the thing. They said, they're not happy about your choices, right? But that wasn't a choice. I mean, you did not choose to feel that way growing up. Like you said, based on your story, you said that as far as you can remember, that's how you were, right? You were young and you felt something for girls. How is that a choice? You were a kid. That's how you felt, right?
Yeah. definitely. It was, that's kind of like a big argument that comes up, especially for like, I would say like old school religious people, or just people who are not accepting towards like, you know, like uh the queer community. Like it's
Yeah.
just, they, a lot of the time people do bring up that it is a choice. And I'm like, that's kind of a weird thing to say, because you wouldn't say that, like it doesn't make sense that you wouldn't say that me liking guys is also a choice. Like
Yeah.
it,
Yeah.
it was always the same. Like I remembered it the same way. If anything, I had crushes on girls more than I ever had crushes on guys. So I don't know. Like it wasn't like a choice. It just, it
No, it's
wasn't.
not. For me, it's my opinion, right? I believe it's not a choice because the choice is the choice that you're going to make, or the choice that they want you to make, is to not be yourself. That's the choice that
Mhm.
they want you to make, for you to be accepted by them. It's basically what it
Yeah.
is, right? If they're saying no, you have to not, you have to like men, not women.
Mhm.
Have to.
Mhm.
And that's the choice that they want you to make. It's so, that's not, that's not you. It's not natural for you to just, well, it's more natural for you to like both, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
how is that a choice? I really don't get it. I know, I know that I know someone who was gay, but because he was religious, he made a choice not to be himself, and you know, practice being straight. That was the choice, right? So
Mhm.
to the people out there, to the audience, and especially to the older people, we cannot, we cannot change your minds anymore, right? But to the younger generation, and to those open-minded people, I think you'd agree with me that if you were born this way, you're just acting naturally the way you're made, right?
Yeah.
For the community, um, it's not a choice. How is that a choice? You were born to be who you are. How is that a choice? And now this person I was telling you about, he made that choice
Mhm.
to follow his religion's teachings. That was the choice. But being himself, the gay that he was, that he is not a choice. That's what he is. So the choice
Mhm.
is the other way. The choice is to not be yourself, to follow what the religion teaches. And see, honestly, Nat, I myself have been, having problems with it because I grew up a Catholic, from kindergarten to law school, right? And I studied philosophy, being in, God's being and becoming. And I know the teachings of the Catholic Church. And you're right. The teachings is that, you're not supposed to, feel something for the
Mhm.
sex, right? But and I asked this question again of my former guest, right? Like
Mhm.
last week. Is it really a sin? You think in God's eyes it's a sin to be who you are? It just, I don't know, I'm confused. It baffles my mind. I do not believe that God would say, I made you this way and you're sinning because you're being who you are. You're
Mhm.
committing a sin because you're who you are. We're all we're all God's creation, and if you were born this way, what can you do? Like, where's the choice, right? So
Yeah.
no, I don't agree with that. I don't think it's a choice. So and I really feel bad that you had to go through that. And I was hoping that it wasn't that way. I mean, you probably would have struggled with friends, or in school or in your work, but family, you
Mhm.
know, it's it's really sad. But what about your parents? Did they accept you when they found out?
Um, well, first I did want to say I like that you brought up like the spiritual stuff, because just in general, like that's been a big part of my like, you know, coming out journey and just the whole thing. Uh, and I just wanted to say quickly, I'm sorry, just that with the whole oh yeah, you're making this choice thing. One of the thing that like kind of strikes me the most when people say that is, why would we make that choice? Like if we've grown up Christian, if we've grown up believing in God, if we've grown up like with this belief that we're going to go to hell if we are like this, why would we willingly choose to be like that, you know? Like
Exactly.
I had like a lot of anxiety like every day being like, oh, I'm going to go to hell for this reason. I'm not talking about like the gay stuff right now. But just like I believed in that. So why would you tell me that I would make like this choice to basically like fall into that? No,
Yeah.
that's not true. Yeah. And um just like still continuing with spirituality, I think when I got older, I kind of had like a better, like started like finding that a little bit better for myself, like knowing that God isn't, someone who is going to like come down with just, I'm gonna hit you. It's more like I'm here to love you. So there's like there's a lot of crazy stuff around that. But yeah, just wanted to say that because that's a huge thing that I've always thought about.
Yeah, it's true. I struggle with it too, right? Because I'm Catholic ever since until now.
Mhm.
And of course, like you said, why would I wanna sin? Why would I willingly defy God? I'm not evil. But
Yeah,
why,
go against everything I've been
right?
taught to
Yeah,
believe. Yeah.
exactly. So why would I do that if it's a choice? Why? But it's not a choice. It's just being me, right? So it's
Mhm.
really sad that other people think that you have a choice in this. You don't. And even, when we look at younger people, like the kids, the 3-year-old, 4-year-old, sometimes at that age, it's you already see, right? And these
Mhm.
kids don't know anything yet. They're
Yeah.
pure at heart, right?
Yeah.
But you already see that they are not straight. Are you saying that that kid is already committing a sin against God for being who he is or she is? I don't think so, right? So
Mhm.
it's really sad. I really wish I could invite a priest to enlighten us about, no, seriously, because I don't want to go to hell like you. You don't want to go to hell, right? But if you are who you are you saying I'm already condemned as soon as I was born because I was
Mhm.
born this way, right? I don't think that's fair, and I don't think that's not that God that I know.
Yeah.
And remember Jesus Christ, when he was at the cross, he even forgave those two men who was it two the yeah who was already who were sinners,
Mhm.
who's done willingly done you know uh things that go against God's teachings, right? He still forgave them. What more with people that were born the way they are and just being naturally them? I, so I don't know. I don't know how the other. I want to hear the argument for the other side of this because I don't know how they're going to win that argument, right? It's just
Yeah.
it's. I don't think they will, you know. But yeah. So your parents they found out when you were 13 or later, much later.
Just like a little later. I was probably I was most like 14. Yeah, around
And
14.
did you tell them or did they just find out? How did it unfold?
Um, so yeah, I told one of them first, and then it did become like a messy thing.
Oh,
Which I understand more now because I think it has a lot to do with religion and culture and stuff.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
That doesn't really excuse like the messy stuff that was going on and how like hurtful a lot of it was.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was rough in the beginning. Like it was a lot of um just like not being accepting and like saying like hurtful words. Thankfully I wasn't like disowned or anything. I feel like that's always like the fear. And
Of
then when that yeah, when one parent found out, they kind of like told the other in the hopes that the other would get mad at me too. But it was yeah, it's kind of interesting because there was like a lot of loud stuff coming from one parent and then kind of a disregard coming from the other. Like my other parent kind of said something like, oh yeah, just don't talk to it with them anymore because it is upsetting them. And I was like, oh, it's upsetting them. Okay. Well, like, shoot. I guess I don't want to say like fuck my feelings, but yeah, kind of just, yeah, taking care of my parent.
Well, your gram, your Lola. Oh, what
Huh?
did you?
Oh no, I was just talking about like my parents.
Okay.
Like sorry, what I meant is one of them had like a really vocal and I would say like a louder reaction.
Okay.
And then they tried to contact my other parent to kind of give it to me as well. But
Ganged up on you.
yeah, kind of. That's what it was supposed to be. And yeah.
So how old are you now?
I'm 24.
24. So 10 years later, has anything changed in your family with the way they treat you, the way they react? Um, are they still hopeful that you're not gay? Or have they accepted that you are?
Yeah, it's like yes and no. Like I feel like I am aware that they're hopeful that it's like some sort of phase. It's like a phase that I will get out of, or I'll just end up with a guy and that'll be done for. But in some ways it's definitely gotten better. Like it's more of something that's an open conversation now. Like we can talk about it, or I can make jokes about it or whatever. But there's still like a lot of like microaggressions in general. Like I might have told someone today that I was going to join your podcast for a Pride Month thing, and they smiled, but there was a lot of disgust in their face. So I was like, oh, it still hurts.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I bet you're gonna watch this.
I hope that.
Well, I hope they watch, because you know what, I'm a parent too, and I have two kids. I have two children. I have a guy and a girl. And any parent would say, it's complete, right? I have a son and a daughter, and a son, because both of my children are bisexual, right? And I was in that position too, before, like your parents, when one of them told me that, that she was bisexual. I'm like, nah, you're not. Just a phase. I went through that. No, I think that's initial reaction of parents, right? And honestly, back then, when she told me, I'm like, I prayed. I always pray. I keep saying, God, I hope she ends up with a man. Seriously. And this is the reason why. Because of the, I guess because of the environment, because of other people, because of the discrimination that the members of the community go through. I don't want any of my children to go through that with other people. That's the reason why. It's not because I'm homophobic, like they thought I was. It's only because I want what's best for them. I don't want them getting hurt, and I don't want other people hurting them, discriminating against them, saying things about them because they're different. Because I'm the first person that's gonna get mad at them if they did that to my children, right? That's why I kept praying. And honestly, in the back of my mind, I was thinking, it's a sin. Is it? Right? So at first I was dismissing the idea, oh, it's just a phase, because people go through phases. But when, they were both adults, and they really are members of the community, I realized that, these are my children. I accept them for who they are. And you know what? They're doing well. I don't see any discrimination so far. I guess because they're one's in Toronto, the other one's in Montreal. So the people around them are not Filipinos. They're more, more open, and the younger generation are around them. So they're more accepting of them. So that somehow gave me comfort that they'll be fine, right? But I guess if they grew up in the Philippines, I'd be mortified, because I'd be scared that people will treat them differently, and that's the only reason why. But now, they're both out. And I don't know if the people who are watching this know this, but yeah, both my children are. And they're the reason why I found out that I am too. Well, seriously, because I was afraid, like you. I thought it was a phase because I grew up in an all-girls school, right? And it's normal for girls in school to have relationships with, your classmates, because I guess that's the norm. That's the environment I grew up in, but I didn't think it was serious, right? So, and then I just dismissed that. And then, of course, I had boyfriends, ended up getting married and stuff. But because my children opened my eyes, I'm thinking, whatever I felt for another woman, I guess I was never really in love with women before. It was just maybe for me, it was companionship, right? Because I got along better with them than men. So I wasn't really sure. That's why I dismissed the idea that, I was bisexual. But then now I'm thinking, yeah, maybe I am. But my son said I'm not, I'm pansexual because I don't look at the gender, which is true because, it's not the gender, it's the person that I like, right? So who knows? Maybe I'll get married again. Maybe the next time it's a woman. I don't know. Now, going to that point, getting married is a whole new problem now for us, right? Because the fact that, some people in your family cannot accept the fact, quite, freely accept the fact that you are who you are. What will they say if you decide to marry a woman?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Right? But before I ask
yeah.
that, do you think you'll ever, or are you open to that idea of getting married to a woman?
Yeah, definitely. Sorry. Yeah, I am. I mean, there's been times where like I've been in like relationships with women and some people who haven't, who I've experienced who aren't 100% with me, they're still, they're still accepting to the point that like they just know that that's what's happening. But yeah, if I ever decide, like if I ever get married to another lady, I don't know. I feel like I would just brace myself for, like bad reactions and good reactions. But at that point, I
Good
wouldn't
word,
really
brace yourself.
yeah, I'll brace myself because the good thing about like from like all the time it's been is I'm very comfortable with myself. And if that's, if people want to shun me or whatever from like who I love, then they can, they can do that. I'm not gonna
It's their choice.
it would yeah, it would be hurtful, but it's
I can do anything about it. That's
yeah,
yeah.
I am grown.
I remember my daughter when she was in high school. She asked me, "Would you attend my wedding if I married a woman?" She was in high school. You know what I said? Of course not. I had no idea I hurt her. Right? I thought it was just like, we're joking. I thought she was joking, and then I just found out just a few years back. She said to me, "Mom, when you said that, I was really hurt." Really? Yeah, because she was serious about it when she asked me. I did not know, right? So, I don't want to, I really don't want to, you know, I don't want to hurt my children clearly. And, I'm so sorry that I did that. But like I said, I was young. I was in the Philippines. I grew up in the Philippines, I mean, and then, I'm a single mom and I'm trying to, I guess in my head, I'm trying to raise them the way my grandmother raised me. Like, I want them, I want to raise children who are God fearing, stuff like that. And I was scared, but now I'm, you know what? I guess they've opened my eyes, they've opened my mind that to the fact that, they are who they are, right? And I'm a parent. I love my children. No matter who they are, what they are, they're not doing anything wrong, right? They're just being themselves. So what can I, how can you not love your children and not accept them? And how can you love them without accepting them, right? So to the parents out there, so don't say that, oh, it's easy for you to say, no, 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 no. I went through that, and I feel you. I understand you. I struggled for a while, and but then look at your children. Do you really love them? Because if you do, then you accept them for who they are. You have to support who they are. You cannot say no. You cannot be this. How can you say that? How can you force your child to not be who she is or who he is? I don't get it. So don't pretend to love your children, and then say no, I don't accept you. You gotta change. You can't change them. And first of all, you're the one who brought them into this world. So if they turned out gay, your fault. What did you do? Huh?
Oh my god.
Really? No, honestly. No, but because some there's a doctor, I don't know if this is true or this is just a myth, or I don't know. Someone said to me there was a pill, if you um it was, I think it's a morning after pill or something, some pill to stop you from getting pregnant. And the
Mhm.
effect of that on the child is that they can end up being gay. So to the parents out there, what pills did you take before you gave birth to your child who's gay and you're not accepting right now? It's your fault, not them, theirs. I mean, come on, accept that. You're the ones who brought them into this world. So don't blame them for being who they are. It's your fault. So you gotta accept them. But hi, Mrs. Pajarillo, Mr. Pajarillo, I don't mean to fight with you guys,
Oh
but
my god.
I'm just, this is just my opinion. Of course, you have your own, and I will respect that. If you don't agree with me, let's just agree to disagree. Everyone to each his own. But that's my opinion, and that's why my children are so lucky to have me as a mom. Anyway, but yeah, so one day, if you get married to a woman, you have to invite me. I gotta be present in that
For
wedding.
sure. Yeah, I would invite you, obviously.
No, but I feel bad that you had to struggle um, through your teenage years, and I because that's the hardest, I think, for me, stage when you're in your a teenager, because you're confused and you need guidance, and you need someone to talk to, someone who will just listen to you and guide you without getting mad. And s- those people should be your parents, right?
Mhm.
So well, you turned out good. You turned out fine.
Thanks.
So right. So I guess you did a good job yourself, and you handled it well. And I know you said you went through some anxiety, and are you still going through that right now?
Uh, no, not around like sexuality and stuff. Like I said, I think I've grown to like a point where I'm comfortable with myself. I like actually know that part of me, and yeah, it's not something that I get like crazy
Okay.
anxious about. Yeah. Just yeah, I think sometimes it's just like looking at like past stuff and kind of like what's going on still that make it hard to be like like connected with like family members or friends. um that's probably like the challenging thing, just worrying that people like we never really get to like a point of good understanding for each other.
Mhm,
But that's okay, it happens.
mhm. Well, do you think you can also end up with a guy being bisexual? There's a possibility.
uh yeah,
Do you want
for
children?
sure. Oh, yeah, well, I don't know about that. I mean, personally, I don't really, I don't really see myself having kids,
Mhm.
just with anyone, but, if I were with like a partner in the future who wanted
And
kids,
you
then
never,
of course.
yeah, because you're young, you're young, so you have a whole
Mhm.
new life ahead of you. Um, Now, when it comes to, I just want to ask you, so bisexual is different from lesbian, clearly, because lesbian, they really won't go for men, right? Isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Mhm. So, okay, because the LG, so lesbian, gay, bisexual, LGBT,
Yeah.
trans, queer. Have you ever encountered a queer before? Because I don't think I'll be able to invite, someone who's queer to be on my show. So I just want to know about them. Do you know anything about queer? Have you met someone who's queer?
That one trips me out a little bit because I know that I think if you'd like search the definition for like queer, like I think that like just anyone in the LGBT community could
Okay.
be like identifying themselves as queer. Yeah, like I
And I
could
want to know, I
identify
want to
as
know
queer.
why, right? Why queer? I actually met someone at the set of a short film that we shot in San Diego, and she
Mhm.
identifies as queer. She agreed to be my guest, but not in June. So to the audience out there, watch out for it. In July, I will be inviting this person. She's queer, and she's willing to talk about, her sexuality and why queer. Because I really want to know, understand what that means, right? Why someone
Mhm.
identifies queer as opposed to bisexual or gay, right?
Mhm.
Now, you've mentioned, you've given us a background of your struggle with your family. What about, did you go through any issues in school or at work with your, you know, being gay, being bisexual?
Um, yeah, I mean, I didn't come out in school, like in high school or anything. So there was that. Like throughout high school, I didn't really ever feel like I could be like my full self or
Mhm.
whatever. Um, yeah, and then when I was older and like started working, I think that's when I started being like, like getting to be more open with myself too.
Mhm.
Because yeah, there was like less pressure to me. So I don't know, I was just open about like sexuality, and to the point where people actually didn't think I was bi. I guess I talked about girls so much that they were like, "You're a lesbian, right?" I'd be like, "Oh no, well, not really, but yeah, I understand why you think that, because I love girls and stuff or whatever." Yeah, that's how like a lot of conversations went, but yeah.
So, yeah, you mentioned that you really like girls more than men, right? What is it
Mhm.
about men you don't like?
That's a yeah, that I mean, for me it's like bisexuality is, well, I think a lot of people like agree with this, that bisexuality is just like a spectrum. Like it's
Mhm.
not always like a 50-50
Mhm.
thing. So I think it's like if if this was like a circle for like how much like guys and girls, guys would probably be like "Beep," like a small like yeah,
Yeah.
like a small percent. It takes a like it takes a different type of connection for me to like start having a crush on boys. That's just, I don't know why, that's just how it's been for me.
Mhm.
So it's easier for me to like, I would have crushes on girls most of the time. Yeah,
Mhm.
for guys it was different because I think there was less of the uh like the attraction for me. Like I could just acknowledge that I think that a guy is like cute or like pretty, but I'm not gonna be like, oh my gosh, he's so hot, I wanna be with him. Like it's never like thinking that way. Yeah.
Okay. So that makes you bisexual. That small portion of you that can get attracted to men is what makes you bisexual, right? Because without that, you'll be lesbian, right? Right. Am I
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
So help me out with this, because my niece, and you've met her, Max. Hi, Max.
Hi, Max.
She's lesbian, right? You've seen her. She wears, men's clothes and stuff. But she would marry Justin Bieber. If Justin Bieber ever decides to marry her, she will.
Mhm.
So I told her, you're not lesbian, bisexual. That small portion of you, Max, shows me that you are. And like you said, it's a spectrum, right? So for me, and this could be, I mean, Max will not agree with me, I'm sure, but what about you, Nat? Let's just discuss this for a moment. She's really head over heels with Justin Bieber, honestly.
Mhm.
She'd really, I said to her once, you're bisexual. I'm like, no, I'm lesbian. No, you're bisexual. No, I'm lesbian. Okay, what if Justin Bieber suddenly comes and wants to marry you? Of course he won't. He won't. What if he does? No, he won't. What if he does? That's what she did. So she genuinely likes Justin Bieber, the only guy, the only guy that she fell for. But doesn't that one, like, let's just say just that one part of her makes her bisexual? Because a true lesbian will never feel anything for a guy, right?
Uh, I mean, I wouldn't. I don't know. I wouldn't call someone bisexual if they identify as lesbian. So I that's I guess sexuality is like it's well, when I was younger, I kind of like struggled with like defining things because I was like, I
Yeah.
don't want to, like, I was like on the side of like, yeah, I just like who I like. And I think I started labeling myself as like bisexual because, as far as I knew, I liked guys and girls, but also for whatever reason there's like biphobia, which is funny. um
What is that?
I mean, it's not funny, it's stupid.
What is
Sorry. Biphobia. It's just like this known thing in like the community where yeah, like sometimes people have like issues with like bi people because it's like, oh, why can't you just, like
with
I'm not really sure how to explain it well right now, but it's just like a thing where it's like judgment and about like who they like,
among the
trust
community?
issues,
Oh,
stuff like
come
that.
on.
Yeah.
That's not
Actually, it's like among the community. Like I wish that I don't want to talk about it. Like because I don't feel like I'm educated enough to like go into it like that. Or like I just feel like I can't explain it as well as someone else could. But yeah, it's something that goes on within the community. Biphobia.
that's not good. I mean, come on. You guys are already trying to um, bond together and show the world that they should not discriminate against you, right? And then you're
Mm-hmm.
going to be discriminating against each other. How is that healthy? How is that helping your community, our community? How? I don't get it. So, to the people out there, you cannot discriminate against the bisexuals because, like you, they were born the way they are, right?
Mm-hmm.
If they like both,
Yeah.
right? And you ask yourself, so why do you like, if you're a man, why do you like men? And with women, if you're lesbian, why do you like women? Right?
Mm-hmm.
So don't ask the bisexuals why they like both, because you're in the same boat, right? That's not right, and that's not healthy. You're just you gotta be one. Goodness gracious, this people.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
no, seriously, that
Um,
biphobia is stupid. You're right. That is really stupid. And whoever has biphobia, I don't know what's wrong with you guys. You're just creating more issues for your community, for the community, and you don't need more, okay? So, but thank you for telling me that because I did not know anything about that until now.
yeah, I would look into it.
Wow,
It's
that's not good. That's not good. Um, like I said, I guess that the theme of this, the Pride Month, in my radio program is that we're all one, like this flag says. It used to just be the red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and purple. Now we have the black, brown, blue, pink, and white. And why? It's because it now includes even the straight people, right? So I guess the theme of the community is really to be one, right? Just to be one and to get along, whatever you are, whoever you are, whatever gender identification you have. You're all the same, right? Let's just respect each other's choices when it comes to you know their sexuality, the choice of partner. If they fall in love with the same sex, they fall in love. What can you do, right? Why would you stop them if they fall in love with both, then it's that's who they are, right? You cannot really force someone to suppress their feelings. You can't, right? It's not right. It's not fair. So yeah. But I was enlightened because you said so many things that I did not know before, like that one. And of course, and you're actually the only bisexual I've had in my show. I've had gay, um, lesbian mostly because I grew up with lesbians because I was in an all-girls school, so I know a lot of lesbians. But in this year, I've had gay and bisexual. I'm still looking for queer and maybe a lesbian. Even though last year most of my guests were all lesbians, but I really want to find a lesbian who's femme that I haven't interviewed because in the Philippines, most lesbians, at least growing up during my time, they really look like men, right? I mean, they act like boys, they wear, jeans and stuff. So imagine my surprise when I moved to Canada and saw two women together and they both look like women, you know? And I think you call it lipstick, they said, right?
Eh,
Yeah, lipstick. Didn't you know that? If you're lesbian
no.
and you act like a woman and you dress up like a real woman, then you're lipstick.
Oh, I've never heard of that
Hey, you learned something
term.
today.
Well, yeah, I guess. Maybe that's like a Canada thing. I've never heard it here.
Yeah, so that's what they said, lipstick. So I have yet to find someone who is lesbian but lipstick, who dresses up like a normal woman, right? Like you and me. So I gotta find one. Anyways, so is there anything else you want to share with the audience, or maybe leave them you know, some advice if they're going through, especially the younger generation who are just you haven't who hasn't come out yet. They're
Yeah.
still they're afraid of coming out, especially the Filipino kids, because how Filipino parents can be. I know I
Mhm.
can. I was strict. I was not as accepting as I am now. And I really had no idea that I hurt my daughter because of what I said. Because I realized that to her it was real, right? She was asking me a question that is not a joke that she is thinking of, maybe doing, and she wants me to be a part of it. And then I say no, right? So, and you said you may end up marrying a lady. I may end up marrying a lady myself. You never know, right? So, I don't know. May marry a
Yeah.
lady. Anyway, so any other, but oh, by the way, before we say goodbye to the audience, because we've already reached the end of our show, not here is the main character in the short film that I wrote, co-directed, acted in, produced, catered, everything. She is the main character. So she's Mina in that film. And we still have to find an editor. I haven't found one yet. So hopefully you can find one for me. I'm still looking. And let's say hello to our get her back family. Randy,
Hi.
um, Joey, where are you? You are missing in action. We have been trying to reach you. You've ghosted us. Lali, hello. Mom was part of it too. Max and my daughter, they were, what do you call this? Extras, bit players. Who else?
Those are,
Eh,
yeah,
That's,
they
that's
were really cool Easter eggs, I guess.
Pardon?
They were kind of like, well, yeah, like you said, they were extras, but I thought it was cool. I feel like it's like an Easter egg type thing. Yeah.
But we had fun filming. So hopefully, watch out, guys. And we're still looking for sponsors so that we can enter film festivals and pay our editor. If not, I'm gonna have to edit it myself. Good luck to me and Lali. And do you edit? Maybe we can.
Lolly.
Yeah, Lali, you and me, not Lali and Elle, will edit. If I can find an editor, I'm gonna have to learn how to edit films. But anyway,
Heck yeah.
so Nat, I would like to say thank you again for sharing your experience with us. It must have been hard for you because of what you went through. I did not know that it was that hard. I really feel for you, and I wish you didn't have to go through that, but you did, but you came out fine, and you've learned from it. So at least, like you said, I'm so glad you said that you're comfortable with who you are, and no one can change you, right? And you don't have to. You just don't have to. So, anything you want to say to the audience who are right now struggling with their sexuality, or at least struggling with the way they should act and what they should do with family and stuff like that.
Yeah, I guess especially for younger people, I guess I just want to say that they're like not alone. Like a lot of people who are not like out or like not able to feel like they can be themselves, they're definitely not alone in it. And it's a hard thing. It's a hard thing, especially with like the people who aren't open, but shoot, like you're all very special, and I know that it's something that we can all get through. But yeah, yeah.
Now, is there anyone you want to say hello to?
Hi, Al, if you see this. Yeah. Yeah, that's it.
That's it. Okay. Now, for me, again, I want to say happy birthday to my daughter, Aliana. Happy birthday. And of course, the June celebrants, my friends who are celebrating their birthday for the month of June. Happy birthday to all of you. Of course, I believe I've already mentioned it, but happy birthday to my brother, Reynan De Luna. His birthday was June 10th. Hello to my nieces, Miyomi, Miyoko, Julian. They're all in the Philippines. I'll see you soon. And of course, to my friends in my soccer team in law school. Let's have a reunion. Judge Carvajal already said yes. And of course, Army said yes. And I'm sure a lot of them would want to have a reunion. And of course, my Star Magic family, hello. See you soon. And to my all my friends out there, I'll hopefully see you soon in the Philippines. Yun, that's it. So again, thank you, Nat. But let's also invite them to be sponsors for our film, Get Her Back. Invite them to be sponsors. What?
Wait, what?
You invite them to be.
Oh, invite who?
The audience, whoever's watching there.
Oh, yeah, guys.
Right?
Yeah, yeah, if any donation is really cool. If anyone wants to be like sponsors, or donating to like a really cool passion project, yeah, it's a really nice story, and it does revolve around like our people, so that's cool. Yeah, and honestly, and I kind of just realized like something that I did want to say like as ending words. Also, like in our journeys, it's really cool that there's a lot more like a lot more of us like being able to like support each other. I think obviously it was really harder back then to have like this openness, but when I say like you're not alone, I just mean that there is a community that is here for you and like willing to accept you, and yeah, we all like understand each other, so it's
a great community. So
yeah.
right? So that's good. Well, thank you so much again, Nat, and don't go.
Thank you.
And
Okay.
to the audience out there, thank you so much for watching again another episode of this program. Um, I do hope I think our next episode will already be in July. But like I said, watch out for my episode where I'll be interviewing someone who identifies as queer, because that's that's the one thing that I've always wanted to have in my show, to interview someone who identifies as queer so that they can explain to us what it really is. Because we all know lesbian, gay, right, bisexual, but and actually I was hoping to interview someone who's a trans woman. My cousin is now a woman. We grew up together, playing together. He was a boy. Now she is a woman. So she agreed to be interviewed. So that's Joanne Bondok. Hello. Um, I am hoping that you find time to be a guest in my show, so that the people can get to know you and understand what a trans woman is. And of course, my queer guest in July, she already said yes. So I'm so excited about that. Anyways, again, thank you so much, Nat. Thank you to the audience for watching. And sana po, panoorin niyo ulit yung susunod na episode natin dito sa Konting Kaalaman Malaking Katulungan. Again, ako po, ang inyong lingkod, ang inyong kaibigan, your source of information and legal counsel who has the Filipino communities and LGBTQIA pluses communities interest at heart. Dito sa Konting Kaalaman, Malaking Katulungan. Till next episode.
Bye.
Bye.